Hello, welcome back to this tutorial. So and if you actually be following the series, you would remember that the last time we set up a local atom. So because now once we've been working, we set up a local atom and we have been using that to work with SFTP. But however, we just because of something we did in previous with an atom in the cloud, we just want to redo that again because that is something we would be working with. Because the next process we want to be working it, we want to create a JSON. We want to be able to send JSON file. It's a JSON object to different files and actually save this into a database. Actually save it into our FTP servers. So we just want to redo a simple process, but we did with the we did with the cloud atom using local atom, because currently because we are using a local atom, a lot of things will change. The IP address has to change because currently the atom resides on our system. So basically, if I'm working from my system, what I'll be actually looking at when I'm sending I'm trying to communicate with my server, I'll be using localhost and the port that my system is currently running on. So by default, this is 1990 system on most systems, except you did you changed it while installing. So I'm just going to try and create a new H. It's just a simple hello world to just test on a local atom. So I'll just do this hello world on local. So I click on this. So first of all, what you just want to just listen here. Yeah, you're looking for the web shared service. So I make this. So what am I looking for operation here? So I'm just trying to get somebody's name. What's going to be the expected input type? Is going to be a JSON file. The profile, it's going to be hello name. Let's see what hello names look like. If you're following the series, you would actually know this. This is just an object that contains someone's name. Yeah, I'll just rename this as process hello world local. What is going to be my output type? I'm going to use a JSON as well. um let's see, we can still use name, which is pretty easy, or we can actually do a single data, which is plain data, and I can click on save. Okay, so the next thing I want to do again, it's just I want to return this data. I'll just process this data. I'll process this data. I'll create a new operation. I'll click on new. It's going to be a JSON object. We are fetching from hello name. Yeah. So all you just want to do here is I'm going to create a new profile. JSON new welcome. So I'll just create profile manually. So this is going to be an object as well, and I'll just add one object inside. I'll call this result. Save and close. So all I just want to do is to map these two together. The idea of this is not necessarily to actually exploit the function. It's just to enable us to understand when we're actually running an atom locally, how does it work. That's the idea. That's what I want to cover in this tutorial, not necessarily to go in depth of the mapping process, mapping shape. So we have looked at the mapping shape, the map shape, and we'll still look at more in other series. So if you're having doubts, you can actually just come to one of the you can follow one of the tutorials we did previously. Yeah, this is hello world and hello world 2. So I'm just going to do this. I can make things interesting, put a function here, and I'll call this, let's see, string. Let's make let's string to upper. So it converts the string to upper. I'll just call this an a string or in string. So whenever we send in a character here, it returns the uppercase for us. Yeah, so this is pretty good. Okay, and we want to return this out to the user. Yep. So the reason why I'm doing this is to enable to understand how where we are coming from, because now we are no more working on we are working with an atom locally. So that's the idea of doing this very short series. So I'm just going to save. I'm going to package this as a component. Now, like we just created this. Now I have to deploy it, but I'm deploying it on my production environment. Now this means I'm deploying to my local atom. So the question is, now when I'm trying to test this service, how do I know the IP address to find to look to listen for? Typically, to show you this name 172 point. However, you won't be able to access using this. You won't be able to access using this port except you actually bought this IP. So you need to actually discuss with your network administrators on how to set things up. So basically, what I just do is just hold on. I'll just create a new one. I'm working locally. So what I do is I know I'm working on localhost. So if you actually send localhost 8081, this is a very famous spot when you're working with when you're using MuleSoft. So but currently we are using Boomi. The default port is 1990. Yes. Then the rest of the address we can actually come and get it here from /ws/this. So I just remove the double. Yeah. Then you ask yourself, do you have a username and password? So if we come to under this production and we click on shared web server. So you can actually see that the default port is 1990. This is how I got it. Then this I know that currently I did not pay for and I did not buy an IP address with this, so it won't be available to me. So because I'm actually sending from my local system, I can actually send on localhost. However, if you actually go through the stress of getting an IP and configuring one, you can actually listen for on the right IP. So this is my address, this is my default. So in terms of username and password, um let's see if you can actually do it without username and password, because by default most times when you're working with your local host you can actually set things up without. So authentication type here you can see none. Yeah, if we try to do basic it will work, but I'll keep it simple, none, and I'll just save. Basically I did not change anything. So in the body I'm trying to send in a JSON file with only one key parameter, with only one key of value called name, and that name, it's the person's name is Jimmy, and let's see what happens. So you see, it returns the result, but now its capital is now uppercase. So the idea of this was not necessarily to show you the process of the transformation, but it's to show you of getting the new address. Currently, we are working on a local atom. Our address changes. So because now we'll be taking this a step further, to be using to be integrating this using a an FTP process. Thank you for this tutorial. Feel free to ask your questions and get back.